The encounter. The dense jungle was alive with sounds. Strange creatures moved between thick trees, and shadows danced under the green leaves. The air was heavy with moisture and the smell of earth. In this wild place, a young alien girl ran for her life. She was small and fragile, with wide eyes full of fear. Her skin shimmered faintly under the sunlight that broke through the canopy. She looked behind her. Close behind, hunters chased her. Their heavy footsteps shook the ground, their voices low and angry. They wanted her captured, or worse. The girl's breath came fast. She stumbled but did not stop. Deep inside, she hoped someone would help her, but in her heart, she did not trust humans. Stories told by her people said humans were cruel. Many had suffered because of them. Just as she reached a narrow river, the hunters shouted, ready to catch her. She had nowhere to run. Then, out of the blue, a figure stepped between the girl and the hunters. A human man. Tall and strong, with sharp eyes that looked calm but fierce. Without saying a word, the human raised his hand. A low growl filled the air. From the shadows, a huge creature appeared. It was the jungle's apex predator, a massive beast with sharp claws, glowing eyes, and powerful muscles. The hunters stopped, their faces showing surprise and fear. The beast roared loudly, making the hunters freeze. The human spoke softly, almost like a friend, talking to the beast. The creature backed the human up, moving forward to block the hunters. The hunters, confused and scared, slowly retreated into the jungle. The alien girl watched, shocked and curious. She never expected a human to have control over such a deadly animal. After the hunters disappeared, the human turned to the girl. His voice was low but kind. "You're safe now," he said. The girl did not answer. She only looked at him carefully, still unsure if she could trust him. "My name is Kai," the human said, stepping closer, but not too close. "I am Lyra," the alien girl finally said. Kai nodded. "You don't have to be afraid here." But Lyra shook her head slightly. "Humans are not kind. My people say you hurt others." Kai's eyes darkened for a moment. "Some humans are like that. But not all." The jungle was quiet now, except for the soft sounds of leaves moving in the wind. Lyra looked at the apex predator standing quietly near Kai. She could see the respect and power between them. It was strange and powerful. Kai looked around carefully. "This jungle is dangerous. There are more hunters and wild beasts. You can't stay alone." Lyra knew he was right, but her pride would not let her ask for help. Kai noticed her silence and said, "If you come with me, I will protect you." For the first time in a long while, Lyra felt a small hope, but the old fear still held her heart. As they began to walk together slowly through the jungle, a dark shadow moved silently in the trees above. Someone was watching them, waiting for the right moment to strike. Lyra glanced up but saw nothing. Kai noticed her look. "Stay close," he said quietly. The jungle seemed to close in around them. The sounds of life were still there, but now they felt like whispers of danger. As they moved deeper, Kai told Lyra about the beast by his side. "This is Ragnar," he said. "He's the fiercest predator here, but he listens to me." Lyra stared at Ragnar. The beast's eyes met hers, steady and strong. "How can you control him?" she asked. Kai smiled slightly. "It's a long story. Maybe one day I will tell you." The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the jungle floor. Lyra and Kai found a small clearing where they could rest. Lyra sat down carefully, still watching Kai and the beast. "Why did you help me?" she asked finally. Kai looked at her, his eyes honest. "Because no one should be hunted for who they are." Lyra felt a strange warmth inside, something she had not felt in a long time. But the night was coming, and with it, new dangers. Far away, hidden among the trees, the shadow watcher made a silent call. The hunters were coming back. This time they were not alone. The jungle held its breath. and Lyra knew her fight was only just beginning. The Protector's secret. The jungle was quiet now, but the silence felt strange. Every small sound seemed louder. The rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the soft footstep of a creature moving unseen. Lyra and Kai walked carefully, each step measured, eyes watching the shadows. Kai carried no weapons, but his calm was stronger than any. Gun. Behind him, Ragnar, the massive apex predator, moved like a shadow. His glowing eyes scanned the jungle, always alert. Lyra still could not believe what she had seen the day before. A human standing fearlessly with a wild beast that could tear apart anyone. How was it possible? Why did this creature obey Kai and not attack? Kai stopped near a huge tree. His voice was low, almost a whisper. Ragnar is not just any beast, he said. He is the strongest creature in this jungle. Many have tried to hunt him, but none have succeeded. Lyra looked at the beast. Ragnar's muscles rippled under his dark fur, and his teeth shone sharp even in the fading light. How did you tame him? Lyra asked, her voice barely louder than the wind. Kai hesitated, then looked away. It was not easy. It took time, patience, and trust. Things you don't find easily in this world. Lyra's mind raced. Trust? With a beast so deadly? Her own people rarely trusted anyone outside their clan, yet here was Kai. A human, speaking of trust with a creature that should have eaten him. Suddenly, the ground trembled softly. A deep growl echoed through the trees. Ragnar's ears twitched and his eyes flashed bright. Something is coming, Kai said, his voice tense. From the darkness, a low rumble grew louder. The jungle seemed to shake as a huge shadow appeared between the trees. It was another predator, bigger, faster, and angrier than Ragnar. Lyra gasped. This beast was a nightmare. Its eyes burned red and its roar shook the air. This is Varka, Kai said quietly. He is the only one who challenges Ragnar. If they fight, the jungle will burn. Lyra's heart pounded. The two beasts circled each other, muscles tense, ready to attack. Kai stepped between them, raising his hand. Stop, he commanded. For a moment, the jungle held its breath. Ragnar growled low but backed down. Varka snarled but waited. Kai looked at Lyra. I have protected Ragnar all these years. He trusts me, but others do not. Lyra noticed something else. The fear in Kai's eyes. Why are you so afraid? She asked softly. Kai sighed. Because if I lose control, Varka will kill us all. Lyra felt a cold shiver run down her spine. The jungle was more dangerous than she had ever imagined. They moved quickly, deeper into the forest. Kai told her stories of battles, of moments when Ragnar almost turned wild. Lyra listened, feeling a new respect for Kai, but also new fear. At night, they camped near a dark river. The fire flickered, casting strange shadows on the trees. Lyra watched Kai carefully. Why did you save me? She asked again. Kai looked at her, eyes reflecting the firelight. Because sometimes, even the strongest need friends. The jungle was alive with noises, some friendly, many not. Suddenly a scream echoed far away. Lyra jumped up, heart racing. Hunters, Kai said grimly. They found us again. The fire flickered wildly as Ragnar growled low, stepping protectively in front of Kai and Lyra. We must be ready, Kai said. This time they won't. Come alone. Lyra's trust in Kai grew stronger, but so did the danger. The night swallowed their fear, but the jungle never forgot. Shadows in the dark. The jungle night was alive with hidden dangers. Lyra sat close to Kai and Ragnar, the firelight flickering on their faces. Every crackle of the flames made her heart beat faster. She felt the weight of the night pressing down, as if the darkness itself was watching, waiting. Kai's eyes scanned the thick trees, alert for any sign of the hunters or other threats. Ragnar lay quietly, but his muscles were tense, ready to spring at any moment. Suddenly, a whisper moved through the leaves, a soft, almost invisible sound that made Lyra freeze. Kai's hand went to Ragnar's side. silently signaling the beast to stay ready. "They're close," Kai said, voice low and steady. Lyra swallowed hard, the fear creeping into her chest. She wanted to run, but she stayed still, trusting Kai's calm. From the shadows, shapes began to emerge. Figures moved quickly and quietly like ghosts through the jungle. The hunters had returned, but this time they brought something new. Machines, small buzzing drones with glowing red eyes. The drones hovered around the camp, scanning every inch. Kai's jaw tightened. "They want to trap us," he said. Lyra's eyes widened. Machines in the jungle? The hunters were using technology, now making it harder to escape. Kai stood slowly, signaling Ragnar to rise. The giant beast growled softly, a warning in the night. "Stay behind me," Kai whispered to Lyra. The drone started to beep, and thin beams of light cut through the darkness, searching for any movement. Kai moved quickly but carefully, leading Lyra and Ragnar deeper into the jungle. The ground grew rougher, the trees thicker. Every step was a risk. Then, a sharp snap echoed nearby. A hunter had spotted them. "There!" a voice hissed. The chase began. Kai ran, Lyra close behind, Ragnar charging through the underbrush with powerful leaps. The drones followed, buzzing louder, their lights flashing like stars gone mad. Lyra's breath came fast, fear mixing with adrenaline. She stumbled on a root, but Kai caught her arm, pulling her up. "Don't stop," he shouted. Suddenly, the jungle exploded with movement. Vines twisted and turned as if alive. Kai stopped, eyes searching. "The jungle is helping us," he said, breathless. Ragnar roared, and the giant beast leapt into the air, tearing a drone from the sky with one swipe of his paw. The other drones scattered, but the hunters kept coming, their voices angry and loud. Lyra saw a figure moving faster than the rest, a tall hunter with a strange mask covering his face. He held a glowing spear, pulsing with energy. "That's their leader," Kai said quietly. "He's dangerous." The hunter leader pointed the spear toward them, and a bright bolt shot out, striking a tree nearby and causing sparks to fly. Kai grabbed Lyra, pulling her behind a huge root. "We can't fight them all," Kai said. "We need a plan." Lyra looked at Kai, fear mixed with a new determination. "What plan?" she asked. Kai smiled grimly. "We're going to turn their own machines against them." He pulled a small device from his pocket, something worn and old, but with blinking lights. "This is a jammer," Kai explained. "It can disable their drones, and if I get close enough." Lyra's heart pounded. "I'll go," Kai said firmly. "No," Lyra cried. "I won't let you face them alone." Kai shook his head. "You stay safe with Ragnar. I'll handle this." Kai disappeared into the dark jungle. Lyra and Ragnar waited, their eyes fixed on the path. The night stretched on, every second heavy with danger. Then, a sudden silence fell. No buzzing drones, no footsteps, only the sound of Lyra's own heartbeat. From the shadows, a soft growl warned her, and something moved closer. Something she could not see but felt in her bones. The jungle held its breath. Kai was still out there, and the hunters were closer than ever. The trap tightens, the jungle was darker than before. The moon hid behind thick clouds, and the air smelled of wet earth and danger. Lyra sat quietly beside Ragnar, her eyes searching the shadows. Kai had been gone for what felt like hours. Every minute stretched longer, pulling her deeper into fear. Ragnar's low growl broke the silence. His glowing eyes scanned the dark forest, muscles ready to fight or flee. Lyra felt the weight of his presence, strong, fierce, protective, but even the great beast seemed tense, as if something unseen was coming closer. Then from the silence a soft click echoed, like the sound of a trap snapping shut. Lyra's heart jumped. "We're trapped," she whispered. The bushes rustled, violently. Sudden lights flashed through the trees. It wasn't the hunters, it was worse. Dozens of small figures surrounded them, moving fast and silent. They wore strange armor that shimmered in the dark and carried weapons that glowed with a cold blue light. "They are the shadow hunters," Kai had warned her once. a secret group known for their deadly skills and their hatred for humans and beasts alike. Lyra's breath caught. How had they found them so quickly? Had Kai's plan failed? The shadow hunters closed in, forming a circle that tightened with every step. Ragnar rose slowly, his fur bristling, eyes burning like fire. He growled deeper than ever before. A warning, a challenge. One hunter stepped forward, his voice cold and sharp. "Give us the human and the beast and no one gets hurt." Lyra looked at Ragnar, then at the hunters. She knew they couldn't fight all of them, not with their weapons and numbers. "We won't give up," she said, voice steady despite the fear. The leader smiled cruelly. "Then prepare to die." Suddenly, the hunters attacked. Blue light streaked through the air, and the jungle erupted in chaos. Ragnar charged, powerful and wild. He knocked down 2 hunters with one swipe of his paw, his roar shaking the trees. Lyra ran beside him, dodging the glowing blades. She saw Kai emerge from the shadows, holding the jammer device tightly in his hand. "Get ready," Kai shouted. "I'll disable their machines." Kai threw the device into the air, and it exploded with a burst of light. The humming of the hunters' weapons faltered and died. The hunters screamed in anger and confusion, but their numbers were still too many. Lyra saw one hunter aiming a spear at Kai. Without thinking, she leapt forward and pushed him away, taking a sharp blow to her arm. Pain exploded through her, but she stayed on her feet. Ragnar growled and fought harder, defending her with every ounce of strength. Kai caught Lyra's arm, helping her back. "We have to run," he said. "This way." They dashed through the jungle, branches whipping at their faces, hearts pounding. Behind them, the shadow hunters shouted and cursed, but their weapons were useless now. After running, for what felt like forever, they reached a deep cave hidden by thick vines. "Inside," Kai urged. They hurried in, panting and bleeding, the jungle noises fading behind them. The cave was dark and cold, but safe. For now. Kai lit a small fire with a flick of his wrist, the warm light casting strange shadows on the rocky walls. Lyra sat down, her arm aching badly. "Will they follow us?" she asked quietly. Kai shook his head. "Not here. This place is old magic. The hunters fear it." Ragnar lay beside her, still alert, eyes glowing softly. Lyra looked at Kai, her trust growing stronger than ever. "Thank you for saving me," she said. Kai smiled faintly. "We save each other." Outside, the jungle whispered secrets, and the night waited. The danger was not over. It had only just begun. The breaking point. The cave was silent except for the crackling fire. Lyra sat close to the glowing flames, her arm still aching from the hunter's spear. Kai and Ragnar stood near the cave's dark mouth, listening for any signs of danger outside. "We can't stay here long," Kai said, his voice low and serious. "The hunters will regroup and come back with more weapons, maybe even bigger machines." Lyra nodded, fear creeping back like a shadow over her heart. "What do we do now?" she asked quietly. Kai looked at her, eyes filled with determination. "We find their base. If we destroy it, their power will break." Lyra's breath caught. The idea was dangerous, but it was the only chance. "How will we get there?" she asked. Kai smiled faintly. "There's a hidden path through the mountains. Old maps show it, but no one has used it in years." Ragnar growled softly as if warning them. "We must be ready," Kai said. "The path is filled with traps and dangers." The fire flickered, shadows dancing on the cave walls. Lyra felt a cold chill, not from the cave but from what lay ahead. Hours passed. Kai studied an old map, tracing the hidden path with his finger. Lyra listened to the jungle sounds outside, feeling the weight of the coming battle. Suddenly, a noise from the cave's entrance made them all freeze. A soft rustle, then a sharp snap. Kai grabbed his weapon. Ragnar growled. From the shadows, a figure stepped forward, a stranger, cloaked and silent. "Who are you?" Kai demanded. The figure lowered their hood, revealing a young woman with fierce eyes and a scar across her cheek. "I'm in exile," she said, "and I know the hunter's secrets. Lyra and Kai exchanged wary glances. "Why should we trust you?" Lyra asked. The woman smiled thinly. "Because I want them destroyed as much as you do." Kai hesitated, then nodded slowly. "We need every ally we can get." The woman stepped into the firelight, revealing a strange device strapped to her arm, similar to Kai's jammer but more advanced. "I can help disable their machines," she said. "But we must move fast." Lyra felt a spark of hope mixed with doubt. "What's your name?" Kai asked. "Mira," she replied. As night deepened, they prepared to leave. Ragnar led the way, powerful and silent. But as they stepped outside, the jungle seemed different, heavier, darker. The shadow hunters were waiting. "You thought you could run," the hunter leader sneered, stepping into the moonlight, his glowing spear ready. Kai raised his weapon. "We fight or we die trying." Lyra's heart thundered in her chest. She looked at Mira, who nodded grimly. The battle was about to begin, and no one knew who would survive the breaking point. The edge of fate, the jungle held its breath, silent except for the distant calls of strange creatures. Lyra stood beside Kai and Mira, their weapons ready, eyes sharp in the dim moonlight. Ragnar's growl rumbled low, warning all who dared come closer. The shadow hunters surrounded them like wolves closing in on prey. The leader's glowing spear pulsed with energy, casting eerie light on his cold face. "You cannot escape your fate," he hissed. Kai stepped forward, voice calm but fierce. "Our fate is to fight, and we will not fall tonight." Suddenly, the hunter leader raised his spear and launched a bolt of blue energy toward Kai. Kai dodged just in time, the bolt striking a tree behind him and splintering it into flames. Lyra's heart pounded. "Now!" she shouted. Ragnar leapt forward, his massive paws crushing hunters beneath him. Sparks flew as weapons clashed and warriors shouted in pain. Mira moved swiftly, using her device to jam the hunters' machines. One by one, their glowing weapons died, leaving them vulnerable. But the leader was different. His spear still hummed with power, and he fought with deadly skill. Kai engaged him directly, their weapons clashing in a shower of sparks. The fight was fierce, neither giving ground. Lyra dodged behind a tree, clutching her wounded arm. She saw hunters regrouping, ready to attack from the sides. "Kai!" she called. "They're surrounding us!" Kai grunted, blocking a powerful strike. "Hold them off, Ragnar, help Lyra!" The beast growled and charged, scattering the hunters with brutal force. Mira disappeared into the shadows, reappearing behind the enemy lines. She used her device to disable more weapons, turning the tide bit by bit. But then, a sharp whistle cut through the air. More hunters appeared, faster and better armed than before. The leader smirked, sensing victory. "This is the end for you." Kai's face darkened. "Not yet." With a sudden burst of strength, Kai pushed the leader back, then shouted, "Run! Get to the hidden path!" Lyra helped Mira and Ragnar, retreating into the thick jungle. Behind them, the hunters roared in frustration. They ran fast, heartbeats pounding, branches slashing their faces. Then, from the darkness, a giant shadow loomed. A mechanical beast the hunters had hidden, larger and deadlier than any before. It roared, metal teeth gleaming. Kai turned back, facing the machine alone. "Go," he shouted. "I'll hold it here." Lyra wanted to protest, but Kai's eyes told her no. With a final glance, she ran with Mira and Ragnar, hope and fear mixing in her chest. The jungle swallowed their footsteps. Kai stood alone against the metal monster, the fate of them all hanging on his fight. The final roar, the jungle was alive with tension. Kai faced the metal beast alone, his breath heavy, eyes sharp. The machine towered above him, moving with terrifying strength and speed, its glowing red eyes locked on Kai, ready to crush him. Kai gripped his weapon tighter. He knew this fight was more than for survival. It was for Lyra, for Ragnar, for everyone who believed in freedom. The beast charged. Kai dodged, rolling to the side as giant metal claws slammed into the ground. Sparks flew everywhere, the air filled with the sound of grinding metal and roaring engines. Kai attacked, slashing at the beast's joints, trying to find a weak spot. But the machine was built strong. Each hit barely left a mark. Meanwhile, Lyra, Mira, and Ragnar raced through the jungle, hearts pounding. Lyra's wounded arm burned, but she pushed herself forward. The hidden path was close, and with it their last hope. "We have to reach the old temple," Mira said urgently. "There's a power there that can stop the beast." "Then let's not waste time," Lyra said, pain forgotten for a moment. Back at the fight, Kai used all his skill and strength. The beast's metal skin cracked, but it fought back harder. Just as the beast swung a deadly claw, Kai jumped onto its arm, climbing with fierce determination. He reached the beast's head. Its glowing core pulsed with energy. Kai stabbed his weapon into the core. There was a blinding flash. The beast screamed, a terrible mechanical roar, then collapsed, lifeless. Kai fell to the ground, exhausted, but victorious. Farther down the path, Lyra and Mira arrived at the ancient temple, a place covered in glowing runes and vines. The air hummed with strange power. "This is it," Mira whispered. Lyra stepped inside, feeling energy rush through her. She placed her hand on the altar, and suddenly a bright light filled the room. The jungle seemed to hold its breath. Outside, Ragnar howled, the sound strong and proud. Kai limped toward the temple, his body weak, but his spirit unbroken. He saw Lyra waiting, eyes shining with hope. "You did it," he said, voice soft. "We did it together," Lyra replied. The shadow hunters had been defeated, their machines destroyed, but the jungle, the world had changed forever. Kai, Lyra, Mira, and Ragnar stood united, ready to face whatever came next. Because in the darkest moments, trust and courage could create legends. And this was only the beginning. Shadows of a new threat. The jungle was quiet now. The machines were destroyed. The shadow hunters defeated. Or so they thought. Lyra, Kai, Mira, and Ragnar stood at the edge of the ancient temple, catching their breath. The light from the altar still glowed faintly, as if holding a secret. "We did it?" Lyra said softly, but her voice held worry. "But I feel like something is watching us." Kai nodded. The hunters were only one part of the danger. There's something bigger. Mira looked at the runes on the temple walls. The power here is ancient, but it also warns of a shadow beyond the hunters, a force that controls them. Ragnar growled low, ears twitching. Suddenly the ground trembled. Small rocks fell from the temple ceiling. Kai raised his weapon, eyes scanning the darkness. From the shadows a cold voice echoed, "You have destroyed my army, but you cannot stop me." A figure stepped forward, tall, cloaked, with eyes like burning stars. A new enemy, more dangerous than any before. Lyra's heart raced. "Who are you?" The figure smiled cruelly. "I am the master of shadows, the one who commands the hunters, and now you will bow." Kai stepped forward. "We fight for freedom, and we will never bow." The master laughed, a sound like cracking ice. "Then prepare for war," he said. The temple shook again. Ancient traps activated, walls closing in, spikes rising from the floor. Lyra grabbed Mira's hand. "We have to escape." They ran through the collapsing temple, dodging deadly traps. Ragnar charged ahead, breaking barriers with powerful blows. Just as they reached the exit, the master's voice followed them. "This is only the beginning." Outside, the jungle seemed darker, colder. Kai looked at Lyra, determination burning in his eyes. "We must find the source of this shadow." Lyra nodded, fear and hope mixing inside her. The fight was far from over, and the true enemy was still hidden. Descent into darkness, the jungle had grown colder. The light of the ancient temple faded behind them, swallowed by shadows that seemed alive. Lyra, Kai, Mira, and Ragnar moved silently, their senses sharp, every sound echoing like a warning. "The master's power reaches deeper than we thought," Mira whispered, eyes scanning the twisted trees ahead. Kai tightened his grip on his weapon. "He controls more than hunters. He has allies in the darkness. We must be careful." Lyra's heart pounded. Memories of the last fight haunted her. The traps, the voice that chilled her bones. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. Roots burst from the soil, twisting and turning like snakes trying to trap them. "Attack!" Kai shouted. Ragnar lunged forward, ripping the roots apart with powerful jaws. Mira used her device to emit a pulse that weakened the dark magic binding. The forest. Lyra ran, dodging grasping branches, but one root caught her ankle. She fell hard, pain shooting through her leg. "Lyra!" Kai cried, rushing to help her. Before he could reach her, a shadow flickered near the trees. Fast, silent, deadly. Kai raised his weapon, but the shadow was gone. "He's here." "Mira," said voice trembling. "The Master's right hand, a shadow assassin." The group helped Lyra to her feet and moved faster, deeper into the jungle. The air grew thick with fear. Then, out of nowhere, the shadow assassin attacked. Swift and silent, he struck with blades that gleamed like the night. Kai blocked the first. Strike, sparks flying. The assassin vanished and reappeared behind Mira, who barely dodged. "We have to work together," Kai shouted. Lyra, despite her injury, used her knowledge of the jungle, setting traps with vines and sharp stones. Ragnar growled, circling the assassin, looking for an opening. The fight was tense. Every move measured, every breath heavy. Finally, Kai caught the assassin's arm, twisting and forcing him to drop his blades. "Who sent you?" Kai demanded. The assassin smiled coldly. "The Master will see you fall, but not yet." With a sudden burst of speed, he disappeared into the shadows. The jungle fell silent again. Kai looked at Lyra's injured leg, then at Mira. "We can't run forever," he said. "We must find the Master's lair and end this." Lyra nodded, pain forgotten for a moment. "For our world, we fight." And so they pressed forward deeper into the darkness toward an uncertain fate.